Hey guys, Scotty here, Hustle and Grind Pod. Thanks for coming in, checking us out today. So, great episode today. We got Marty Salliss, Salliss Plumbing Heating. Probably seen his trucks around town, almost guaranteed. But what you might not know is that he's a sergeant for the auxiliary OPP. We get into everything from his early journey as a student to becoming an apprentice to becoming a teacher and a prof at Fanshawe, and now running his own business and, of course, spend a lot of time working with the OPP. We get into stuff like how to treat your people, what it means to care about your clients, and that sometimes it's not necessarily the first impression, it's the last impression. How do you make people feel, and how do you retain employees? It's one thing to find good people, but it's another thing to keep good people. So anyways, tune in, lots of good stuff here, and check us out.
Let's go. Marty Salliss on the pod from Salliss Plumbing and Heating. Awesome, Marty. Great to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is great, man. I've gotten to know you in a networking group that we're part of.
Yep.
And yeah, it hasn't been too long, but it feels like I've known you forever. You're kind of one of those guys that you just, you make the person you're talking to feel like they're the only one in the room. And yeah, so tell us a little bit about how you got started with your company. I know that goes back, but I know there's an origin story there that I think is really interesting. Yeah,
I'll try and do the calls and notes for you to be a little bit quicker. Just came out of high school. Actually, when I was coming out of high school, my plan was to become a police officer. That was my first and foremost, the idealism for which I wanted to have as a career.
Yeah.
At the time, we had Bob Ray in power. There was no hiring going on for my type of person, so to speak, right? So it just didn't work out that way. And I moved on to basically come back in 5 years and we'll chat. So I moved into the workforce, and upon going into the workforce, I had a couple of really good jobs, really enjoyed them. One taught me a lot of leadership. I moved to Accuride, Canada at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Working in the factory, driving a forklift there. And in all honesty, it just didn't fit for me. It's just the hours, the money, everything was great. That wasn't the question. It was more or less, there wasn't a challenge. I needed a day-to-day challenge or a purpose or a reason to do what we do. So just at that point, decided I wanted to get into an apprenticeship. And I started to think heavily about it. Then I got laid off with 450 others at the same time.
Wow, because Accuride's no longer...
It's not. I think it's under Firestone still, but it's very limited.
Yeah.
It's extremely limited. So that whole back department that I worked at was basically laid off and shut down.
Oh, wow.
So it was a quick throttle forward in that sense of, okay, let's do this. It was a good age. I was 22 when that happened, 23.
Yeah. So plenty of time now.
It was a perfect time.
Yeah.
Actually, my life, it worked out well. So wanted to get into the trade, started looking around, sourced a company out of Exeter, JMR, went to John Rosenberg, who I owe a lot of where I'm at today due to the fact he gave me an opportunity. And that opportunity didn't come up without persistence. John wasn't hiring when I contacted him originally, and he just said, no, we're not looking for anybody. And I said, okay, I understand. I said, I'll be calling you again next Monday at 9:00. And he laughed. He said, okay, and hung up. So next Monday, I had my alarm set, called him. And I said, hi, it's Marty Salliss. I called you last Monday. He said, yep, still don't have room. Click. And then I said, okay, to myself, I'm going to call again next Monday. Like it became almost a mission. Third Monday I called, and he said, listen, he said, I can tell you're serious about this. So I don't have room right now. I said, okay, I appreciate you being honest. Thank you. I'll call you next Monday. So I called him 4 times in a row last Monday. When I called him, he said, okay. He said, you're a pain in my ass. You can be up here in 45 minutes. You're more than welcome for some time. So you can't make it from where I was in London to Exeter in 45 minutes, but I did. Got there. Probably of course. Yeah, of course. I felt like that little kid and Uncle Buck waiting outside the principal's office when I got there. Could hear him having 3 business discussions with somebody, and I was sitting there with my legs basically dangling, waiting to have the conversation. Anyway, all that being said, had a great interview. John gave me an opportunity to get an apprenticeship, and honestly, as much as I can say, the rest of that part's history.
Wow.
In that, the opportunities that I gained from them, just the obviously the job for sure with the apprenticeship, but more so people. I was doing some work with supervision, so I was into job site meetings, organizations of jobs, timings, and schedules, and it was a phenomenal experience. So
just seeing all aspects of the business, and so
that's what started.
Thinking back, so JMR, you were there like 9 years.
Yep.
had your company for 25. So we're talking, 35-ish years ago.
Exactly.
They've grown.
Oh my gosh. So
Right?
when I
Like,
was,
they're not the same JMR.
when I was with John, I believe he had 65 people and he's at 450.
Yeah.
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 If not the biggest mechanical contractor in Canada, he's second.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So were they mechanical? Like, were they in what they were doing now back then, or did they evolve into different areas?
Nope, same thing. Just
Same thing.
Just
Bigger
grown,
scale.
vastly grown.
Yeah. And then, so it's not like plumbing was you just wanted to get into the trades. Like how did that like, what happened there?
It's a good question, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I was working at Ackroyd. Like I said, I realized at that time that really wasn't my path. It was a great moneymaker, help you put some cash away to put the first down payment down on the house and things like that. Again, nothing but respect for the place that employed me. It was great.
Yeah.
Nothing negative. It's just I had realized that sitting on a forklift for 8 hours, and I'd always pick up a 12-hour shift almost every day. It just wasn't. I couldn't see the future. I didn't see the future of what was ahead of that. Knowing that there's more out there. I like challenges. I like dealing with not the same thing day in and day out. The punch in, punch out. So yeah, I just at that point realized, okay, I want to get into a trade. It wasn't plumbing at first, to be completely honest. It was a trade. I thought about electrical. And actually, when I talked to John originally, that's what I had talked about with him. And he just said, I don't have room for an electrician, but I'll take you as a plumber.
Oh,
I'm like, okay, sure. Perfect. Yeah.
Like, question about that moment when you got laid off with your 449 colleagues. How long do you think you would have been stuck there, so to speak, had you not gotten that nudge?
Phenomenal question.
Yeah.
I don't know really that much longer, Scott. I was actually working at that point in my mind. I'd made the decision that I have a great position where I am. I'm doing very well with it, and money was great, but I knew that it wasn't for me. It wasn't a fit. So it wasn't a negative thing. It was just, okay, this isn't
quite started hunting for a new gig yet.
No, so when I got laid off, that would be the best analogy. I went right after it.
Yeah,
just the nudge.
And because
Grateful for that too.
Well, and this is the thing. I asked that question because I've been punted down the road myself, and you're in a gig that's not ideal, and it's checking a handful of boxes, but it's maybe not fulfilling. You kind of feel empty inside, and I've buddies who. Once you're in, you're so deep. It's like you've got this golden parachute on the horizon.
Yes,
right. And it's like, what distance from that chute is too close or too far? And sometimes, fortunately, it usually works out. Fortunately, somebody gets a nudge because of a layoff, a restructure, some sort of thing, and they're like, oh my God, like so. It worked out really well.
The Tony Robbins thing that I'm not, but I always say legitimately for me, maybe it's just my methodology on life, but things happen for a reason. I really believe that. It's how you capitalize on that opportunity, if you want to call it that. You would explain it perfectly, Scott, with the whole situation when you're in that rhythm or rhyme, whatever you want to call it. But like sincerely, in those type of factory jobs, the money was at the age I'd started there, 20 years old. I was making money that I couldn't have imagined.
No, like you rewind 5 years, you're like, if I can earn that much an hour, I'm set for life. Like that is the gig. I only need to earn that much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The thing is, as a person, yourself, or like Ryan, for instance, too, if you have visions or thoughts of what you want out of life too, and you realize at some point, if I want to get to that point or do that certain thing, where you are might not take you to where you got to be. And that's a lot of that happened at that time. But like you said, the nudge was everything I needed.
Now so I know we're kind of going all over the place here, but huge value, tons of value. I love how we just kind of got right into it. And was entrepreneurship, business ownership, was that something you thought maybe you could do well with? Were you inspired by maybe your parents or a mentor? Or how did you just fall into, or maybe it evolved over time? You're like, hey, I can do this business thing,
So again, I think it's a great question.
Yeah.
To answer it, I always wanted to run my own or do my own thing. Not a control thing. Not at all. Actually, a lot of fear behind that too, but just always imagining doing something outside of what I had to be told to do, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm very good with direction. You can tell me to do something and I'll do it, and I'm happily. But I also wanted to be able to live outside that line. Maybe take a chance. Maybe do a thing or two to see what comes out of it. So even when I started plumbing, my vision was to run my own company. For sure. It was to get my apprenticeship. Everything has goals. The first goal was to get that apprenticeship completed after 9,000 hours, and then get my license, then think about where I'd go from there. The college helped immensely with that. That was another nudge, so to speak.
Yeah, because you were teaching for a while.
Yep. Collectively 7 years over a period of time when I started the company. But I went from JMR to teaching. I left JMR to teach, and I taught full time for 4 years on contract, and then hired on full time while I was teaching. Just legitimately with the HST number, insurance, and everything else, went at business side of it, because I thought, okay, well, this is an opportunity.
Have a little bit of time. It's not in a road.
Yeah. No, with the first little while teaching, I can't explain to you how fulfilling that job was. It definitely paved another path that helped me to where I am today, to be able to talk to people, to relate to people, to communicate. It taught me so many things, and I genuinely and truly learned 100,000 times more from my students than they would ever have learned from me.
And I love that. Yeah.
It was such a good job for that reason. I never ever once stood in front of a class of 25 to 40 people, and if I didn't know something, I'd look you square in the eye and tell you didn't know it, but I promise you I'll have you an answer tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And I learned. I can't tell you how much I learned from that.
But I would imagine how you deal with your customers now, because I do know a little bit about this about you, is that that's kind of the culture you created in your business, right? With your people, with your techs, with it's like, look, have that open conversation with clients, with customers. If there is something that I don't know with your plumbing or whatever, I will figure it out, get right back to you. And I can imagine that is just the culture you built.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Within my business, anyone that works for me will tell you that. We don't know everything. We don't attest to know everything. We hope to be the best of what we do know, and what we don't know, we learn. Yeah. And we're open about learning. I think you should be. It helps in a situation when working with a client. I don't know if there's grace. It might be the wrong thing to say, but they work with you a little closer and better, knowing that you don't.
You can earn it. I think you can earn. You can earn that. Point. Right. If you walk into somebody's home, like this is where they live,
right,
and you start rubbing them the wrong way.
Yes.
Like, I mean, and this is the thing too, is you might do something subtle that you don't even realize rubs them the right way. But if you can find a way to like scrub the ego out of the equation.
Yeah, ego and arrogance is the downfall of any business, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
As a person too, I've always told close friends, families, and affiliates, if there's an ounce of arrogance that you ever see within me, you need to teach me immediately, because that is just something that doesn't allow you to grow as a human, as a person, as a business person, a husband, a father, a friend. If you have an arrogance or an ego, you just don't have what you think.
It couples with like an insecurity too, though, right? And I think it's fair. I think I don't think you have one maybe without the other. Yeah. And
that's fair.
And I don't know where I found it. I mean, and I'm still a work in progress. We talk about that all the time.
You're all right, man.
Lifelong learners.
Yeah.
But I'm also like pretty confident. Like, I think I'm a decent guy. I think I make relatively good choices most of the time. I care about people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want people to feel shitty.
No.
Right. So I can be secure in the fact that like I'm okay to check the ego, because I don't need to be something that I'm not right now.
Probably because you're an honest person.
Yeah.
A lot of what comes with ego is, like you said, is the inconsistencies of the values of things. But if you're honest, I truly believe your confidence comes with your honesty.
There you go. Another tie-in.
You're speaking about what it is. You're speaking about what you know. If you don't know, I can't speak to what I don't know. I don't ask questions.
I don't want to pretend to.
It catches up to you too.
In a hurry. So sometimes real quick.
So I really learned that in life a lot. It does catch up to you for sure. I learned that in teaching. That was so when we talk about how I was blessed to be able to teach, I loved it. I would still do with like the OPP and things that wherever I can do things positively like that, not fake. Positively, because there's an energy, there's a vibe. You have it or you don't have it. If you don't have it, don't pretend, because that shows more than when you have it. But in saying that, if you're, there's a pride, incredible amount of pride, and if you're being like, going back to the teaching thing. If you asked me a question and I couldn't answer you honestly, but I'd bullshit you, you're going to find out. So when I see you as an entrepreneur or a fellow plumber going to the wholesaler to buy parts, and I see you in there, and 2 years later you learned that the question you asked me wasn't correctly answered, it was answered a different way. I swear to you, that's the first thing I thought about. I can't be dishonest with myself before I can be dishonest with anybody.
Yeah.
It's an integrity thing. And I'd rather tell you I don't know. It doesn't matter about a question or anything. If I don't know something about life, that's a good, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to know. So let's learn together.
Yeah.
But anyway, that taught me that big time, because I remember when I stood in front of a class, I didn't ever want to be a liar.
No.
Bullshit. Because that always catches up to you. Always.
Well, and they're like,
It's not the way I want
that's
to be.
that's what Marty told me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Marty told me.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
And then now all of a sudden, they feel like an idiot because they believed in you.
Yeah.
They said what you said with confidence, and the person across knows that they're wrong, and they're like,
Yeah.
"That's not right." It's like, well, that's not what Marty said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Telling the truth is hard, man. And
It's a lot harder than lying. It's easily
because you have to face the fire. You can't hide.
Right.
You can't hide. But I think we literally talked about it a little bit last week, which was like, if there's something you have to deal with
it.
We did talk about that last week.
sooner than later. Otherwise,
So much easier.
it gets worse.
And you get the support. That's one thing I do teach my any employees I have that are with me too. Like, don't let me find out about something that's happened from my customers. I'm the first person to go to bat for you for anything. I'll support you in everything, anything we do, for sure. But if I don't know about it, but Ryan, you're calling me saying that we scratched your floor when we pulled the dishwasher out.
Yeah.
My guy scratched the floor, or I scratched the floor while I'm there working. You know what? Customers want to work with you when you admit things. Say, look, everything went well, but I did scratch the floor, and I'm going to get that fixed for you.
Right.
Okay, no problem. They entrust in you. The minute you walk away from something and leave it, they lose any trust that you've.
Totally. Good point.
You can only earn trust once.
Yeah.
You get a chance once.
Yeah.
And you lose that, you can never gain that back. People will forgive, but they never, ever forget. I don't care who you say. People never forget.
Well, and we talked. It reminds me of, and Ryan's probably got another path he wants to go down here, but it reminded me when we were chatting before, of like that element where it's the last impression, right?
Yeah.
Like the plumbing, the work, the install, everything was beautiful. It was great. And then, you ran outside, stepped in dog shit, and then walked back to the house without taking your shoes off.
That's the last thing I remember.
That's the last thing I remember. Like,
You're right. Analogy, Scott. It's all sorts of. It's like that.
but the work was great, but the guy dog shit in my front hall.
Yeah, well, it's paying attention to those details that we talk about a lot too, right? And ensuring that your culture is built on paying attention to those details, because details left unattended can result in big.
One of the biggest things in doing a job for any of our clients, and I will tell you, I drive it down people's throats, but it's very important to me to know that if I come to your house to do something, or anybody from Salliss Plumbing and Heating comes to your house to do a job, first of all, very first thing is take the time to clean. You know how many compliments is the easiest thing you can do is clean up after yourself. Do you know how many trades don't clean up after themselves?
So
there's that, but there's also taking the time to look you straight in the eyes and explain what I've done. Look, you want to have a look under the cupboard? I installed the dishwasher. You can't see anything from here, but look under the cupboard. This is what we did. This is your drain. This is your water line. Oh, if ever there's an emergency and you have to shut the water off, here's the shut-off valve. It literally takes 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But it earns you lifetime. Because people know that, it's money. They're spending money. And it's like if you buy a piece of art and hang it on that wall tonight, I think I've talked about this before, Ryan.
Yeah, we did.
And you come over for supper or dinner and say, hey, look at that. Oh, that's a beautiful piece of art you got there. Oh, yeah, that was like $1,300. It's a beautiful piece. We're really happy with the purchase. What about the plumber that showed up the night before to help you with your clogged toilet that cost you $500 for a sewer or something like that? You can't talk about that. You can't brag about it. You can't show it.
I know.
It's not a materialistic thing.
Yeah.
So by taking the time to walk the client through the work, the job that was done, it makes it more real.
100%.
I think, right?
Yes.
They can feel it more.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Now, so where did you learn?
Value to their money, right?
Where did you learn that? Because the JMR, you're more commercial.
100% industrial commercial.
So you're not those finishing touches maybe, and that customer service piece isn't obviously natural coming out of there. I think naturally you're a pretty easy to get along. Oh yeah, get along with, like, conscientious in how you carry yourself and whatnot. But like, now you're running a company, you're obviously paying close attention to those details, and you got to train your people. So like, where did you figure out how to get all of that shit done?
That's a wide open question. It's answered easily in a number of different ways. I mean, Everything you just said is exactly what has to happen, right? You have to entrust in people and teach the way your values are. Getting those values, I don't know. I think it's something that's in you or it's not. I don't know. It's just for myself personally. I know I relate everything to how I'd want it done for myself. If I was going to you to get my oil changed, I'd like you to show me that you put air in my tires while I was there. You didn't just pull the plug, drain the oil, fill it, and off you go on to the next. A little bit of extra touch really makes you feel the value for whichever you're working with, right? So I think that's for me personally where a lot of that came from right off the hop. A lot of that came in prep. Again, I'll go back to teaching. You're only as good of a teacher as you're wearing your prep. Mm-hmm. I could not walk into a classroom without being fully prepped. I was running jobs on my own by myself. I would work literally till 10, 11, 12 at night. I'd stay up till 3, 4, 5 in the morning to make sure that my lesson for the next day was as perfect as I thought it could be for that particular lesson. Would I be tired? Hell yeah. But I felt prepared. If I wasn't prepared, I couldn't be me. It's that insecurity we talk about. Then you start to scramble. So in dealing with my customers is the same way. I know myself, and this is a philosophy that's definitely taught. All I can do. So fortunately, I would say that out of a ratio, I would say 85% of the people that work for me have come through, whether it be co-op or apprenticeship, and carry through. So you're able to teach that right off the hop. So there's no so-called bad habits.
Because they're working with someone more senior who's already been drinking,
drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And who's bought in. And
yes. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's a huge part of any success. It's not, you can say, like, I know it's a cliche. I get that. But not so much drinking. It's a value. It's a belief. It's, and if you believe it, live it, you just portray it. So when you work for somebody, work around somebody, you never want to disappoint. So the people that work with you, I never like to say for you, I don't like that analogy, but the people that work with you, when they understand that they don't want to disappoint. So it's not a matter of trying to make people feel disappointed. It's just so we'll reverse the role for a second here so that my intentions turn around the other way because they know how I portray myself to our clients when I'm in their homes or in their buildings or whatever. And they see that and they know that Marty would only want it done this way. He wouldn't want to hear this or that. That's what I believe. I don't know if that's the right answer or what you're looking for.
No, I mean, I think there's a lot of value in how you've described that because, and it actually reminds me of like another challenge that I feel like we see with some youth these days, which I love about the trades and how there's an apprenticeship journey there. Like you can't, there's no way to get around 9,000 hours. All right. No, except for 9,000 hours.
That's a good point, man.
Right. But
that's a good point.
Yeah. Early on, you've chosen to jump into that apprenticeship. That's the deal. Mm-hmm. And you can't you're not entitled to anything more until you've earned it.
Yeah. I love that.
Right.
So true.
Yeah. But there's so many kids that come out of school.
Yeah.
And they get a gig and, I went to Western Business and I should be the CEO.
No.
It's like, you're an intern.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what?
I know, man.
Let's say you just nailed everything.
What qualifies you to be the CEO?
Yeah.
Very well said.
Right? But in the typical entrepreneurial sort of business sense, and especially with tech, right? You look at, Zuck, right?
Yeah.
What qualified him to be CEO? Well, he just happened to build the craziest social platform that changed the world forever, right? But he obviously earned some stripes along the way. He had his 9,000 hours, and but it's not like this new hire coming into a well-established organization and just deserving a C-suite title after 6 months or a year, right? But in the trades world, it's it's accepted, it's understood. And everyone's okay with it, and then you've earned it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is. Mm-hmm. It is the trade. I mean, you can't just do a trade without getting the experience or learning from it, right? So, I mean, I look at it too when you talk about that. I talk about it giving people an opportunity to see if it's what they really want to do or not, too. I mean, how many people get into things like we just talked about coming out of school? What do you want to do? Well, I want to be a police officer. Okay, but do you really want to be a police officer? What is it? What is the image of that? What is that inspiring you to want to be that way? And so you go to police college, or you go to you keep going for your doctorate, or you go to dentist school, or just any example you want me to give you. So you work through that and you get out and okay, this is what I'm doing. And it's the same as a branch, no different. We're so blessed in a way that we get the opportunity to learn. I still, without any exaggeration, have the passion for the trade, I would say more than I did when I started by far. That's not even like a conversation point. It's there's always something to be learned, and the trades are for people. I mean, back in the day, the trades were reflected upon. Okay, well, Johnny, you don't want to go to university, so you know what? Pick up a trade.
Yeah.
Like legitimately in quotations, and I don't know how you want me to say it, but it'd be like how dumb people do trades.
That's how it was perceived.
When you're in high school, and I was in high school, it's done like that. Yeah, sure. Now we have a massive shortage of tradespeople. Mm-hmm. Now people's parents are pushing their children to get into trades because it's the next best thing to do. Well, you know what? It's changed a lot. Like even our incomes. Like I mean, I can tell you as an employer, like where pay scale is now to where it was even 5 years ago, 6 years, 7 years ago. Yeah, it's changed dramatically. Yeah, you should get in the trades for sure. But I'm just saying that when you get into the trades and the apprenticeship, it really gives you that opportunity to feel that passion. And some people don't like it after. You're like, you know what? I thought it was for me, but it's not. Awesome. You haven't wasted, you're getting paid to figure out what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Mind you, it's an apprentice. You're not getting paid full wages. We all know that. Yeah. But if you get into, like I say, policing, nursing, or anything like that, you've invested a lot of cash to get to that point, and then maybe it's not what you think. Yeah. Yeah. Off topic, maybe. Sorry, Scott.
No, that's good. And I'm just sitting here and just like absorbing like a sponge. This is great. But what I want to do, also, even just like more for our listeners too, because I think a lot of our listeners, they're curious about entrepreneurship, small business ownership, and they may want to do it. Some of our listeners have
and are doing it,
and
are picking up little tips and tricks.
And what I want to take this opportunity with you in particular, Marty, because a 25-year business, you started, at a factory, like there's a lot of time there, and there's a timeline I'd like to maybe go over with you, because I think there's huge value there. Like getting into your mindset, you leave, you start a business. Well, it's just you. It's not like you got people working for you all of a sudden. It's not like you have 5 trucks. When like how does that evolve into building a team, building a company, building a 25-year-old really reputable business? I see your trucks everywhere. Everyone talks about you and Salliss Plumbing and how great you guys are. How do you get there, man?
Oh, we're not perfect.
No, of course not.
To what you're alluding to, or what we're trying to allude to here, in business, nothing's perfect. Nothing's ever right. You learn by trial and error. Yeah. Just even go back, I guess, to the infancy of it all. Yeah. To answer part of your question would really be, I'm a tradesman. Yeah. You call me to plunge your toilet and unclog your toilet, I'm there, no problem. There's a whole other element to what we're talking about now, aside from plumbing. Fortunately enough, my career is plumbing and heating. It's, like I told you earlier, it's everything. I love it. It's everything. It's so cool. It's so interesting. I'm a people person. I love social aspects of life. My whole calendar, every day of every month, it's full of this and that, and drives my poor wife absolutely bonkers. Like sometimes she just says, can we just sit? Nope. But anyway, to answer that, I'll go further in saying that I believe for myself, everybody wants to be their own boss. You want to put it in that type of category. It was never about being a boss. And I'll tell you day to day, I don't believe in being a boss. And I always tell people, as corny as it may sound, I'm looking at your Ocajeros Cup, and I'll go back to my coaching days, and I coached the Badgers, and which did some pretty high end stuff, right? Yeah. Like with baseball and stuff like that. And the analogy of that was, like, what do you get out of your people other than putting them in a place to succeed for themselves? But in reverse, you succeed for your business or for your team, right? So you've got Johnny over playing defense, but you're going to throw him on center. What do you think is going to be the action there? What's going to come out of that? I'm not going to say failure. I hate the word failure, by the way, but it's not going to be what you want out of it. Yeah. So anyway, getting into the trade, plumbing was awesome. I loved it. The business part of it, I've had to learn. I'm not going to lie. It was a step for sure. There's that confidence we talk about. Yeah, I was confident I could do it. Was there insecurities? Oh my gosh, yeah. There still is day to day at times. Am I doing the right thing? Did I do this right? You don't know those things until it's too late or too good. However you want to look at it.
Plumbing, if there's a leak in a few minutes, it's not like, the mistake can be costly.
But there's your instant gratification in my trade. I can come to your home, fix something, and feel good when I walk out, knowing that I helped you. Yes, you're paying a bill. Well, obviously,
but you're also confident that it's not going to spring a leak in an hour.
Right, and there's the satisfaction of helping people. But you're right, in business. So getting to what you're saying, we want to talk on the podcast, obviously, about what it's about. Yeah. Leading up to that, like there's constant growth in learning business. So there's not one regret I have at all. I've gone through some some experiences, 25 years in business that I could share with people anytime you'd like.
Yeah.
And I'd love to, because it doesn't matter what I tell you right now or tell our listening group about business, you're going to figure things out for yourself. You're going to listen to me. You're going to be like, oh yeah, Marty said that, but you're still going to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And then you're going to find that, shit, I should have listened. Should have listened, because that was an experience that somebody had that I didn't listen to, because you told me, Scott, that, hey, watch out for this, because this is going to happen. You're like, hey, yeah, okay, man, sure. Plunge a few toilets, you know, and you come up, and then all of a sudden the business side of it, like, oh, damn, that was said to me. So to that, I guess the easiest way was pride. There was a lot of pride too. I wanted this to work. Yeah. The minute I started it, I had the blessings of teaching, which I had an income. Yeah. So it was number one.
So it started side hustling a bit, like more like side jobs. Like, hey, can you install this sink?
So I started teaching January 2001.
Okay.
I got my business license, and I got my GST number at that time, January, I think, 5th. So I started it as a side hustle. Yeah. But I started at the same time, but just, so as it went, I didn't have to worry about, I always worry about income. I didn't have to worry. It wasn't my sole income. Mm-hmm. The teaching was first and foremost, that was my job.
Covered the nut.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So while I first started teaching at Fanshawe, it wasn't full time. So this was just okay, what are you going to do with your life? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm plumbing, but what am I going to do with the plumbing in my life? You know what I mean? Like, how am I going to make this work for me? That's my mindset. So when I started the business, fairly said to people who are starting a business, I had an upper edge that way. I had my groceries paid for. I could pay my mortgage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's you got less stress to carry.
So I can't truly say to you that I ditched everything and jumped in.
Like, not cold turkey, like, you know.
No, but there's things about that are for or against maybe what you're trying to do. Yeah. So looking back on it, there's so many things that I would have done different. Oh my God, so many things I would have done differently now than I did then, knowing what I know now because of what I had to go through to get the knowledge.
Yeah.
The hindsight's 2020, right?
But I don't care who you are, and this is a personal opinion, obviously. If you want to start a business, you're going to start a business. You have that drive, you have that knowledge, hopefully, of what you're trying to portray in your business. Mm-hmm. Running a business is different than what you're doing. Like I said, I confidently can do a lot of plumbing things. I know that. In business, I can tell you now I'm confident in business. I'm still learning, constantly learning. But I would never detour. It's exciting as hell. It's the most exciting thing ever. Every decision you make, every plan you make is yours.
It's pretty cool though, man. Like, after everything you've done and all these years, like, you still have that mindset of open to learn. Like, and that is easier said than done, for sure, because I imagine, we did talk about ego and that sort of thing. And, you really got to park the ego and be open to learn. Scott talks about lifelong learning all the time. If you have that mindset, that just opens you up to so many more opportunities, business growth, personal growth, all kinds of things.
It also comes down to character.
Yeah.
A lot of character comes along with the ride. Mm. Are you going to allow that, I guess, ego? Mm. If you're allowed to get it, have you got it? Mm. Or do you think you have it? I mean, it's one of those things where you let yourself get ahead of yourself, you're in deep trouble quick. You're like, to this very moment, talking in front of two customers and people of mine, like friends of mine and everything else. Like, I'm still, when I go to your house, earning your respect. Yeah. Have I earned it? I have, because you called me. But I continually, it's not done. Mm-hmm. You're constantly earning. And that is business as a whole. That's not just me as a tradesperson. That's my business coming to your home and you entrusting me. Yeah. So that whole thing, and that started from day one, is that, like, I'll never forget some of my first customers. I still talk to them. Really? Like, oh my God, man, you allowed me in your home.
Yeah. Well, to give you a chance,
opportunity.
The opportunity.
So, but it's still legitimately, I don't go to every call. We all know that, obviously.
No,
we got 32 staff, 16 trucks. It's not like that anymore. But the whole heart is still the same. It hasn't changed. In fact, it's grown in different ways to be sure that we're doing. Now I can actually focus on a lot of the things to make sure that we're doing it. Yeah. When we have our meetings, remember, guys, when we're out there, this is your client. Your client is your bread and butter. If you don't have our clients, we have nothing. Yeah. That's, at the end of the day, we talk about anyone who's starting a business or doing business. How do you have a business? Mm-hmm. It's your clients. Mm-hmm. If you can't respect that and you think that you're bigger than the client, then you can't have a business. It's not going to work. No. It won't work.
Not for long.
These growth,
personal opinion.
Yeah. These growth markers along the way. I mean, you're talking about all the people you have, all the trucks. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about growth? And I imagine, there would have been different markers and times along the way where you're like, okay, I've got 2 trucks. Oh shit, we're growing now. Do I need 4 trucks or do I need 3? Like, do I need to hire more people? Like how, like, what is that like?
I don't know. I smile. It's excitement, man.
Yeah.
Steven's sitting here talking to you now. I need another truck right this moment.
And is that
Do you have bodies to operate it?
That's the next
with
thing.
growth? Yeah.
So you want to, so like anything in business, let's talk the business side of that. Great segue. By the way, thank you. But talking to answer to what you're saying, to get the people, the right fit, whatever you want to call it, to back up your, again, I'll say methodology. I've said it a few times, but to back up your mindset of what you, not what I want to portray, but what we must portray. So to find those people is hard. I'm not going to lie.
Well, and
this is why I try to bring them from co-op or hire them as a first apprentice. I don't like, not it's really negative.
Yeah.
I don't not like, it's hard to bring somebody in when they've worked somewhere else and learned other things. It's hard to deviate that.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Because we're creatures of habit, right?
1,000%.
And
You have biases.
and we've got habits, like you said too, right? It's like
So let's go back on that. I'll tell you right now, that day to day, there's things I think about. I think about JMR all the time. I think about John Rasenberg and the things that he taught me, being an employee of his. But if I work somewhere else, I may not have learned those traits or those passages. And
so there's value. There's value. It doesn't mean because they work somewhere else they're complete donkeys because of the way they think, right? But at the same time, you know, your
integrity, values,
you can mold right at a co-op.
Yes,
you have a better opportunity to mold them from the beginning rather than having to reshape.
100%. Well, 80% of my staff has been through that way. Not to mention that the 20% aren't good. That's not it at all. That's not what we're saying. I'm saying optimally, that's the way it works best. That's been the recipe that's worked the best. We've got great people at Salliss that have not been my apprentice or gone through co-op. They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now, how much of your opportunity to grow or interest in growing is restricted by your ability to find enough of those good people? Because we know the trades aren't flush like they used to be. I think there's a resurgence. Hopefully, yes, I think there is. You know, so like is that literally what's holding you up right now? Is like you could add more crews if you had the right people to do the work?
Okay, so there's two sides, double-edged sword to that
question.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
Because it's something that's answered in two different ways. Yes, if you could find the people, you could grow. Problem with growth, too, is growth is an amazing thing if it's done wisely. You don't want to grow outside of your boots, right? You want to grow within what your grassroots are, what your values are, how your integrity is portrayed, and how you interpret your integrity. So to answer that question, first and foremost, the trades are definitely getting stronger. We need that. I can't even explain to you how short trade system is, even with our economy on a downturn, so to speak, with new construction and new things that are going on. We still need people. When I was teaching 5 years ago, I'd say it started to gain traction again. Before that, when I was teaching, I sat on a few councils and a few boards, and we talked about, with the Ontario Provincial Inspectors Association and such, about what we can do to I'm not going to say glamorize, but to show what the trades, what we need. We need tens of thousands of people.
Wow.
Our age demographic for plumbers, per se, or tradesmen, sheet metal, electrician, our demographic is basically retiring. People are moving on from the job, so we're not getting that.
The youth isn't backfilling.
No.
Yeah.
But I will say that it's really weird. I'm going to answer this question weirdly. You've gone through a lot of transition, a little bit of having people. There's a lot of times parents would force their kids into the trades because they thought it was the right thing to do, and a person would come in to be an apprentice. They'd figure, I'm here because my mom, dad said it's a good thing for me to do, blah, blah. And they get going, they just don't like it.
Yeah.
So I'll have a face-to-face candid conversation. Are you here because you'd like to do the trade? Are you here because you're probably coerced to know that this is the best thing for you?
Yeah.
Because it's not if you're not in it. Right.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I would say that the government has done a good job and is doing a very good job of starting to recognize trades in the light they should be recognized in. I'm not saying it because I'm a tradesman. We had a downfall for many years due to the fact that it wasn't advertised. I don't really know how else to say it. We talked about, again, we'll go to, first responders, or we'll go to teaching.
Yeah.
We'll go to computer, digital. We'll talk about all this stuff, but the trades just kind of always got pushed away a little bit to get to the point where in these councils I sat on and these different boards, it got to the point like, what the hell are we going to do? Like it's a real thing. Yeah. It's not a conversation point. It's a holy shit. We are short. We're definitely short. And if this carries on, it sounds silly, but we're in trouble.
Yeah.
We're in trouble. You could talk, even the union, those boards just had include union and non-union, include education, like colleges and training sessions, all this stuff. And we all talk, and it's because we see it all. Mm-hmm. So going back to what you're saying, long-winded, I'm sorry.
But no, that's great.
It's coming back for sure. I would tell you truthfully, I believe what I've seen in the last 5 years, the quality of young people trying to get into it is good. Mm-hmm. Where it wasn't for a bit. It was just kind of we'll try it.
Good to know.
And I think it's because of the advertising. I really do. Because we lacked that. If you look now, you watch a ball game, a hockey game, or a show, the Ontario trades colleges are looking for blah, blah, blah. You didn't have that. We didn't have that for the longest time. So the government has recognized that we have an issue. We have a shortfall. Mm-hmm. It's a serious thing. Mm-hmm. Like these buildings that they want built, they need tradespeople, concrete, they need rebar, they need,
Well, and I mean, I've got, so, our oldest is our daughter and then 3 boys, and she, grade 11, thinking about university, wants to be a doctor. Like every other girl her age, and I'm just like, honey, like you could get into the trades. And she's like, what's that? And I'm like, you can make as much, if it's about money, then get in the trades. She's like, really? Like no clue. Like no clue. And it just has now, other than me, her dad telling her about it, it hasn't been.
So the high schools have gotten better too. Yeah. They've gotten better in the career job fairs. Mm-hmm. In talking about the trades. I mean,
that's good.
Females in the trade has been very pleasant surprise.
Good.
We've had one of ours, and she's off right now on parental leave, but my God, she was awesome.
Yeah.
Really good apprentice. I'm serious.
Yeah.
And it's demographically, our content, like our customers loved it. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. You got a female in the trade. It's like, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a trade. Anybody can do it. You know what I mean? So it's always positive. There's a lot of bright light shining on our trades that we didn't have before. And
it's good to hear.
Yeah. No, there is,
that's
for sure.
That's positive to hear, because I don't, you hear about it, but then until you're sitting here talking to Marty Salliss, who's front line, right? I mean, that's positive to hear. Yeah, for sure, right?
Let's go back. We need good people. That's the thing. So to get a good person, Scott, what the answer would be is it a passion? Is this something you really want to do? Are you here for a paycheck? Or are you here to, everyone needs to get a paycheck, but we all have to live. We all have to survive. And how many times you change your career before you lock yourself down? There's all these conversations we could have, but finding good people is the key. And so let's flip that back to the employer. Keeping good people is more important than finding them.
And so as a business is difficult, or maybe even more.
But getting back to the business side of things. So my employees they're employees, right? They're not. They're the biggest asset that I have in anything I do.
Yeah.
They represent Marty Salliss. They represent Salliss Plumbing and Heating. They represent all my values, all the things that I want. If I don't invest in that, I have nothing, because there's so many places you can work.
Yeah.
And if you try to give the best that you can to your employees in not money, so much monetary. Yes, of course, money is what talks, but more so, so much more than that.
Ownership, respect, allowing them to have a say and some ownership in what happens with the growth of your company.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, I'm going to go back and liken it to, I don't think I finished what I was, because I get ramming.
No, it's great.
I'm talking about coaching. When you're a coach, you don't know everything, but you're organizing that team to the best of your ability. Getting back to, why would you put Johnny on center when he's a defenseman? Like you're setting up for failure. That ownership. I mean, you treat your people. I always look at, when I used to teach, they always used to call me coach. It was just a nickname. All the guys that come in from outside, because the guys that would leave and go back to work would say, "Oh, hopefully you get coach. He's a good teacher. We did this, did that." Awesome. So it became that thing of coach. Hey, coach. Yeah. And you know what? The thing is I got that from standing in front of a group of people and saying, "Look, I do not know more than you. So I'm going to make that really clear. I don't pretend to, and I don't think I do, but I'm here to help guide to where you got to go to the end goal." For sure. Yeah. And the respect you get from that, when you give people that honesty, so that's the first thing we'll make clear. It's not fake. It's not shoving sunshine up asses. It's truth.
Genuine.
So when I'm working with an apprentice, which I absolutely love to do, to be honest, I love teaching the trade. When you have a passion for it, and teaching more so the business side, when I'm dealing with customers, they get to see how I try to betray the company and what we do. But I love that fact of being able to say, like, to a guy that's only been on for a month, 2 months, whatever, we're like, okay, we got to do this, this, and this. Let me know, what do you think we should do? How should we do this? Like, literally 9 times out of 10, there's ideas that come out of people if you give them the opportunity to have a voice that you never thought of. And it makes things so different. So in business, where I want to relate that into the business, because a lot of things we talk about with apprenticeship is the same as business, because you're learning.
Yeah.
It's the same in business. Why would you think that you know everything? What gives you that right?
Yeah, I know. That's true.
All you do is hurt yourself.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's a mindset, and you need people like you to coach and mentor. And, it kind of goes into I really want to ask you about this as well. I've been thinking about this when I knew we were going to talk to you, and I thought we've asked this about other trades that we've had, like Brett Lucier. Great guy. Like some of these other Gary Brown.
Gino, he's awesome.
Yeah, like in this idea of empathy, and when you're going to a client, I mean, look, you're going to a customer, they're probably not happy for the most part, because there's literally shit everywhere. And you're like, yeah, exactly, right. It's the same thing. So you're showing up, people are already pissed off. Yeah. They're in a shitty mood. And I know we asked Brett this, we asked Gary this, and I really want to ask you this too, because you have this high empathy, this understanding that you can go in and you can talk to somebody, maybe calm them down, or give them confidence that you know what they're doing, they're going to be okay. But not all your people are going to potentially have that too. So how do you do that? Like, how do you coach that? And are there things and ways that you can do it?
I like that. It's good because it's thought about, very deeply thought about.
Yeah.
Again, utilize people for their strengths. So I may have I have people that might not be so, I guess you could say, outgoing or social.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, do you love what you do? Yep. Express that. How do you express that? To show people what you do, show them what you're proud of. Explain it. So we'll go back to the showing you the dishwasher, what you did. Yeah. So I may have Bobby B, who doesn't like to talk to people, but when he's done, he can say, "Oh, hi, I'm finished. I'd like to show you what I did." That's all you need to do. But that is in coaching for sure, because a lot of times, when you have an apprentice, when an apprentice is with a journeyman and they're dealing, especially new, and they're working alongside, say myself or like my right hand man Danny, they're observing. They're totally observing all the time. It's like shadowing, and they catch on to that lingo, that thing. So when you first go out on your first call, hypothetically on your own, you always fall back to what you know or what you were taught. So to coach it, you want to have the right people in play. Getting back to what you said, you got to find those people. So I've had employees in the past where I've talked to my customers before they even go and say, "Look, I'm telling you right now, you're getting probably one of the best tradesmen you could have. If I could take a 16th of that person's knowledge and put it into bedside manner, I wouldn't have them. I wouldn't be here." So
right.
They automatically know, "What do you mean?" "Oh, it just got, really shy person." Yeah. And they get that. So that's a really good question, because psychologically you're trying to ask someone to go outside of their strengths and comfort zone and build that strength and comfort. And what's amazing is to see the turnaround when they start to do that. Is to see that turnaround and what they do.
So something I picked up on there I want to touch on is, and it's funny you say, trying to learn every day, and something I learned last week from a buddy, having a conversation about coaching, and it hit when you said, "Here's the job. What do you think we should do?" And you're not doing that to put them on the spot so you can catch them in a miss and then make them feel like a piece of shit, but you're giving them that opportunity to think critically in real time while the spotlight is on, and they learn that they don't have to be perfect in that sense, right? But it gives them that path to like think critically about that moment and what they should do. And it's not you just standing there barking the orders, do this, and this. And because when you do that, you can suck some creativity and skill out of the person you're working with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I really like that. And just to kind of back up the context where I learned it is, buddy of mine grew up with Mike Van Ryan, ex-NHLer. He was having a beer with Mike's dad, and he asked him,
Teddy's a great guy.
so he's like, Daddy, like what did you do?
Yep.
Your kid's a pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
acted like a pro too.
So, and this was profound, and it's flipped my paradigm, with my own kids, because it's this question of like, I'm their coach, but I'm also their dad.
Yep.
Right. So where do I draw the line on being the coach and being the dad? And what Teddy realized, because he was a pretty passionate guy, was in the car ride, he would just say, how did you do, bud? What do you think? How do you think you did? And, in the beginning, he's like, everything was great. Everything was perfect. He had the best game ever. And Teddy didn't say anything. He goes, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
And then same thing the next game. How was it, bud? What do you think? Line of bullshit. I was amazing. Never didn't make any mistakes. And he'd be like, okay, yeah. And then eventually Mike is like, yeah, well, I probably could have backchecked a little bit more on that one. It was my guy. It was my guy who I left alone in this high slot, who buried there.
Yeah.
Right. So all of a sudden now, Dad didn't have to be critical of his game. He became his own critic and self-aware and humble enough to recognize that he wasn't perfect. Right. Yeah, humble enough to know, like, I can be better. There's something I could have done differently. And talking with my buddy, he's like, Danny said to him, he's like, if I don't know if that's the thing, he goes, but I think it might be, because he probably wouldn't have ever become a pro if I was just riding his ass in the car on the way home going, you missed your man, and like making him feel some kind of way about his game. And then
that's cool.
I'm like,
cool.
It reminded me of like what you said with your folks in the field, where you're like, okay, well, what do you think?
It's a conversation, but we try to make a point of, even in huddles, whatever you want to call it, we talk about things. The guys, I'll give my guys so much credit for their openness and helping each other learn, and that's bred. That's definitely that's the whole environment.
It's not natural.
No, I want that when someone walks in the door, that everything is open. So what I mean by that, not to just going on to your story, is that the guys, I'll walk out to the back shop in the mornings, and the guys will tell, hey, man, we were at this sewer yesterday, and we ran into this, and we did this. And there's 10, 12 guys standing around. They're all learning. They all teach. So there's none of this, I'm better than you. There's no ego. They all want to help each other. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's very rewarding. Simply due to the fact that you see them growing as people, as being communicative, growing as individuals, but also growing within and helping the company. These guys will call each other from job sites, as opposed to, not that it matters, but in other circumstances, I know that people they don't do that. Because they'll get teased or they get bothered. Like, well, what, you stupid? You didn't know that? Blah, blah, blah. Our guys don't do that. They call each other constantly, which is, it's
great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Wow.
But we'll support, but that's again, we could talk, and we can relate everything about the trade to the business.
Yeah.
So everything we've been talking about, we talk about the trade and stuff, but it's all relatable to what's transpired. That's what makes it easy to, I shouldn't say easy to run a business, or what makes it easy to go from trade to do business, because it's, hell, man, you got your ticket, you know how to do the plumbing, you're constantly learning, you don't know it all. We already said that a million times. But the business side is the side that you're like the plumbing with me every day. It's every day, every single day is a learning experience. Might not be a major learning experience, might be minor, but you try to take something from your experience every day, whether it be positive or negative. Like, running a business is not easy. No, not at all. And I'll tell you right now, the ups and downs that I've gone through in 25 years, the things that I've sacrificed, and I don't have to say, we all know that. This is a little beating the dead horse situation here. But I look back at that, and that's what makes me try to be as humble as you possibly can be, because I'll make it pretty blunt. Business humbles you.
Sure does.
If you think, if you're successful, good for you. Enjoy that, because what did it take to get to a point where you feel that you're successful? I think that even when you're successful, watch over your back for that. Don't get comfortable. Because you have to continue to build that. You have to get comfortable. No. And it's not, that is not a negative thing.
No, I know it's not.
For a person like myself, that's my challenges that are met every day that makes me feel thankful for what I have. I'm so grateful for everybody in my life that's helped me get to where I am. Thankful daily for what the phone rings. Like, if I didn't have the phone ringing, I'd be screwed. So would the 32 other people, right? And those are the things that it's humble pie every day, every morning. You wake up and have my cup of tea and think to myself, damn it, man, am I ever a fortunate man?
Yeah.
It's a good practice to
It is a good practice, and it can be very intentional. It sounds like you make that an intentional part of your day, but like it's hard to. I'm guilty. Like, I don't take the time to be grateful of the things. My wife, my parents are constantly like, "Hey, like, look what you built." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just on to the next thing."
Focusing on the next,
right? But you do have to look back sometimes. And be like, holy shit! Like, that's pretty good. I'll take a minute to be grateful and pat myself in the back. Okay, and then let's go. And sometimes that's all you need, right?
All you should. Yes,
for sure. Now, at the beginning of this pod, I mentioned layers to Marty, and I want to get into another layer because we got Marty, the business owner, but then also that I learned in getting to know you with the OPP and your auxiliary, right? And I want to talk about that because that is like A, so fucking cool, but B,
it is.
I mean, it just. The more I get to know you, the more it makes sense. And I'm just like, oh, okay, this makes sense that he would be doing this, right? Mm-hmm. And so can you talk about that? So you've been with the auxiliary OPP in a community service portion, like for
7 years.
For 7 years.
Yep.
So what is that for those who don't understand what
so auxiliary, whether it be with provincial, federal, or municipal, like OPP, RCMP, or London. Auxiliary is a volunteer position within the police force. You're wearing uniform. You have use of force with a baton. You have handcuffs. You arrest. We are looked to relieve regular members from duties that takes them off the road, so to speak. A lot of our stuff is events. We talk about parades. We do a ton of parades. Recruit for a lot of. I do a lot of recruitment. I do the recruitment for Western Region.
Wow.
I do a lot of information session Monday. I've got one Saturday. So there's a lot of that. But with all of that though, so to answer the auxiliary thing, it's giving back. It really is giving back. So we'll do the food drives. Camp Chemo Key has our Halloween thing. We'll guard the road so that people can get in and out safely. If you get the contrast of what we do, it's a lot of that basically. And the fun part, which is that, and the group we have, the unit we have in Middlesex, just filled with phenomenal people.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate enough to be a sergeant with them. We've got our platoon, and the people within our platoon, our unit. It's just they're another family. It's awesome. Just a whole other element, like you said. Let's start peeling back the layers, and that's. My face lights up when you mention OPP. I know. I love it.
So I've seen you in that role, when we did the business food care drive. Yep. And then even you had our networking group to the K9 Western Region. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I know you as Marty, the business owner, but then this other Marty that
alter ego.
It's a different passion, and it's just
never left by the sounds of it, right?
No,
it's always still there.
I still do. I've been out. What have I done? I average between 800 to 1,000 hours a year. Volunteering with that, and it's all not 1 hour of that is begrudged. Like I'd go out all the time if I could, but I have to remember I have a wife and I have kids.
Well, what's that? But I mean, and again, I go back to like Brett Lucier, who did the Fight to End Homeless event and that sort of thing, right? Like we talked about that. Like, hey, it's easy, not easy, but for business owners to open up their checkbook and just donate money, but time is something that a lot of organizations in our community needs, and something that you're doing a lot of, obviously.
Well, it's very, very fair statement. I mean, really, even with my role where I'm at with the OPP at this stage, I have absolutely not one intention of joining the OPP as a regular member. Been asked a number of times.
Yeah, of course.
Like you said earlier, sure, it would have been great, but it would be great now. I would love it. But in the same breath, I am so blessed to be able to have my business and have my thing there, and then go to OPP and have my thing there with another great group of people. Yeah. So I'm able to experience things that I've always wanted to be fulfilled with. I'm a very fortunate person.
I think it also speaks potentially into our audience of like, when you start a business, or my own experience, you start a business, you're all in, right? And having that conversation with your spouse and with your family and being like, look, we need to be on the same page here. but you can get all in and get so deep that just kind of that just takes over. And there's other things in life that are important. Like for me, it's playing hockey or whatever, hanging out with my buddies, or like. So I think it's an important lesson and something that you're showing. In that, like, yeah, I'm passionate about my business, but there's other things that I want to do too, like the OPP, and so search for those other things that fulfill your life, right? Other than just business, or you'll burn out.
So yeah, I get asked a lot of times, and I'll self-admit that I'll function on 4 hours, and it doesn't phase me. Somehow I've got that gene. I don't know what it is, whatever. Yeah. But that outlet that you speak of is what has, I believe, in the last 7 years of my life, has given me more joy out of my business than I may have had. There. Because I'm able to separate that. Yeah. So picking up on a hobby or a friend group or a book reading club or going to play cops and robbers, whatever you want to do, whatever fills your boots is so necessary in business. It gives, like, again, you just said it. It gives you that outlet.
Mm-hmm. I think I
shut my mind off of Salliss 100% when I'm with OP.
You have to.
You know what? That I needed that.
Yeah.
It's done more for me than I do for it.
Find something that interests you, connect with a group, jump on a board, a committee,
or even do something solely like for whatever.
Yeah, like learning a guitar. Right.
Yes. Like reduce that piano. Yeah. Just shut your mind off of that, because you will live, breathe, sleep, bleed your company. I do every day, but legitimately, when I have that time, I don't know what it is. I can't answer it. It's normal, I guess, but there's a switch.
Yeah, it's like completely compartmentalized. Now it's separate, right? Like I still love playing hockey. Yeah, but when I'm on the ice or the bench, like,
I'm coaching or
coaching, right? Like,
I'm not
thinking about anything else at that moment, right? And that's healthy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and
balance.
I mean, I'm fortunate that it's worked out that way for me. But there was, I don't know how many years ago, but I realized that, like, because you talk about flow state, right? Mm-hmm. And, when you're just immersed in whatever it is you're focused on,
day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute.
It's good for your mental health, right?
10-4.
Because, and obviously that's a big thing that lots of us, are exposed to and hear about with people we know these days more than ever.
It is interesting, though, to say with the OPP. It's funny. I mean, just in amassing 25 very fortunate years to be in business in this city and surrounding area, it's how much you bump into people.
I imagine.
It's kind of funny. You know how many times I've walked up to a car for roadside and people go, Salliss, I thought you were a lumber. I always do the old plumber by day, copper by night.
I love it.
Fucking Batman over here. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That and it's stuff too. So you get back into the whole caring side of things. Like a lot of the OPP stuff that we're able to do, like you legitimately see 10% of the population that you don't know. You won't see, you don't understand. You think you watch, Blues, all that stuff on TV, and I get it, but until you're in it, man, it's so the empathetic part of that legitimately teaches you a lot about life too. It's taught me a lot for my business.
You see things that you didn't know there.
It helps you understand where you're missing things.
Yeah. And I've got so much respect for anyone in the emergency services field, regardless of what your role is, 100%. Whether you're on the street or on dispatch, right? Like
it's a tough one,
right? Like nothing but admiration, respect for people who do what they do. I thought, like, I went to school to be a firefighter, and then there was a minute there where I thought, okay, well, maybe police officers are a thing, and honestly, with all due respect, I thought about it for not very long, and I was like, I can't do it.
No, it's a tough job, man.
I can't do it.
I have so much respect for first responders, and I can speak to very, very, very good friends with the fire department. I can speak to it because I ride with the OPP, so I understand the policing side of it. Paramedics, the stuff. But anyway, it's a career path they've chosen, and they do a damn good job. They work really hard. So again, talking about,
and they deal with a lot of bullshit that like is unnecessary. Like you don't take the average, douchebag squawking online doesn't take the human element into account. No. And it's like, these are people, man. They have 100% families and friends, and like they've got shit to do too. But like they're the ones who've decided to put on the badge and
ultimately those people are trying to help you. That's exactly what they're doing. People have a bad vision. But anyway, it's that pendulum's starting to swing back the right way. We all know about, years ago what was happening, and the pendulum does seem to be coming back the other way. But that element, thanks for bringing it up, because it is a part of my life.
Yeah,
it's a huge part of life, and I love it.
Well, I've seen it firsthand. I see how you light up and how important you are in that role, right? With our auxiliary service. So I really wanted to talk about that. Getting back to business, I know we're kind of tight on time, and I really wanted to kind of maybe close out on this little story. Or I don't know how I'm going to frame it, but in my business, digital marketing or whatever, we do these digital audits that we did.
Yes, for me.
So I'll do it for anyone. Like, doesn't matter. Like friends, family, colleagues, whatever. How's your business online? How's your discoverability? How's your traffic? All that shit. And we did run for you, right? Because we sat in this room, you looked at it, digital audit, fancy fucking digital audit, right? Ryan and his team. And
taught something though, didn't you?
Well, I did, but I'm looking at this. I'm like, Salliss isn't really showing up digitally. And I'm like, Marty, what's going on here? And I'm like, you kind of broke my frame, man, because you're like, you've been a successful 25-year business, but if I Google plumbing, you may or may not come up. And in my world, I'm like, how the fuck does that happen? I mean, you brought me down to, this anomaly of a business like yours, of like, you're like, I think it's just because like we're in Earth, right? And testimonials, and we're doing it right, and people talk about us, and I'm like, fucking A, man. Like, what do you need this digital marketing bullshit for if you're just doing shit right on the front line?
Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah.
I never meant to hopefully come across in a way that I don't ever want to be betrayed. I think there's a definite need for it, and that's why we're going to be speaking. So let's talk we'll talk about business here in that sense, changing with the times, evolving with what's happening. I'll answer that question as I did quickly, in short, brief, as to what you just said. Sure. I honestly believe in what you produce will sell. Yeah, as a whole. So that's taken 25 years, bud. That didn't happen overnight.
That's true.
Okay, so we're at 25 years. That's great. Congratulations. And I'm very proud of that. Yeah. I still have many more years to go. So I still need to earn that. I still need to evolve. I still need to think about business. So when I come and talk to a Ryan Belleville about things, I'm open. I told you that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. Totally.
That's great. That's awesome. I don't need it. Yes, I do. Yeah. I don't think I do. And you say why? And I say, well, we word of mouth. Like, we don't advertise. We honestly don't. I will do what I can within my community to advertise, and that's not me advertising Salliss. It's me trying to give back to the community that gives to me. Yeah. If I don't have this community around me doing what they do for me, I have nothing. So I feel within myself, when I have an opportunity to sponsor your hockey club or your dance or your cheerleading, or like we got a night coming up here for Homes for Heroes. We bought a table and things like that. I don't want a pat in the back. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm saying that to me is giving back to what's been given to me, and honoring and respecting where it comes from. If you're not involved in your community in any way you want to be, whether it be OBP, okay, that's giving back for sure. That's a fun thing for me for sure. But I believe we have an obligation within our community to give back to I want them to entrust in me the way I entrust in them. Yeah. So in saying that, I believe that our strengths that have come over the years are due to my beliefs in running the company, and how my customer is the most important thing that we have. That will never deviate. If it does, I won't be able to be in business because I won't have it. Yeah. That being said, I do need to look at stuff like that, because there's a new era coming. There's a new wave. But, it's funny. I'm not going to mention any names. It's not even plumbing or electrical or sheet metal. There's companies that were brought forth by their forefathers or generations before, that suddenly you don't see or hear much about it around the city much anymore. It's right. You think just, what the hell happened? Like that was the biggest company in the city at one time. Yeah. I would never say that we're biggest, best, nothing like that. I'm not saying that, but we're at a level for which I don't want to decline from. And if I do improve on it, which every company should want growth, you shouldn't be in business, but try not to grow hurting the people that helped you get to where you are. So my customer base is the most important thing to me. If I have to sacrifice something, I'll sacrifice somebody that's calling in off old internet that I don't know. Yeah. Whereas if Scott calls me and he's got his toilet backing up, I can respond to him like that immediately. Yeah. I can get to you within an hour guaranteed, because I haven't oversold us.
You haven't stretched yourself too thin.
Yeah. It comes down to the old heart. I don't know how else to say it. I'm guilty of a lot of things, and I believe in relationships and people and customers. loyalty, integrity.
Yeah.
These aren't just words to me. This is my life. This is what enables us to be who we are. So to me, it's very important to maintain that relationship. So when you call me, you know I'm coming.
Yeah.
Not, okay, well, yeah, no problem. Listen, the probably the 60th call in the last 2 hours. I've got you on the list. Maybe I can see you next week.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? That's great, man. You're that busy. To me, what's wrong with that is I haven't been able to deliver to you what I want, what I preach,
Or what
I
they
hope.
need right now.
Yeah.
Because it matters. You're not calling me like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Like, we want to go for lunch, we'll go for lunch, but that's different. When you're calling Salliss Plumbing and Heating, you have a problem, or you wouldn't be calling Salliss Plumbing and Heating.
Yeah.
So every time that phone rings and the customer calls, we have all types of customers, all types of situations. We could talk about that sometime too, if you'd like. They're not all perfect by any stretch.
Yeah.
But every single one of those is somebody who's trusted enough to contact us to try and help them. It's an opportunity, man. Every freaking phone call is an opportunity.
Well, I mean, I think that's great, man. I mean, well said. I think, you know, like what a fucking
Great episode.
great episode. I think that, you know, some key takeaways from this, definitely, I think for our audience, something that I like really have learned from you is, you know, investing in our community is good business. So like it's good for the heart and it's good for the soul.
It feels good.
But it's good for business, right? Let's be honest about it. I mean, you invest back into your community, that is the law of reciprocation, Scott. You said this last episode, and it's gonna come back to you, right? So don't shy away from that. And the other thing too, that I just thought of is you were talking about, you know, when you're thinking about these mission statements, these visions, this beautiful mission statement that you might write on your fucking wall of your business, don't just think of it as words.
No, action.
You know, action, like how you clearly, and belief. Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. So to those thinking about, oh, I need a fancy mission statement with fancy words. Fuck that, man. Think about the core values and the culture and the things that really matter to you, and talk about what you do.
Show your integrity.
There you go. So, and those are two key takeaways.
Big one. And I think there's lots of companies who they sit down and they go through a session and they come up with this vision and this mission, right? But you know, I think if we asked one of your employees, you know, what does it mean to you know, work with the company that you work with, you're going to get the same answer. Right? Maybe it's
You
not
really hope so, right?
Yeah,
Done it right.
Yeah, that's
right. I mean, you even and that's because I've done work and some consulting with businesses in the past, and I'll be sitting in a boardroom and the mission statements behind the person I'm talking to, and I ask them like, do you know what your mission statement is?
probably most,
And it's literally right behind them. They've been in that room 1,000 times,
go.
and they don't know it, right? But that comes from the leadership.
It does, for sure. And I don't know. The mission statement, like, everything you're saying, I totally agree.
Yeah.
100%. I also believe I don't know, if you're trying to build a culture, if you're trying to build what you want to be or who you want to be, if you write down a piece of paper and put it on the wall, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's true.
There's nothing wrong with having that goal, but do you know it?
Do you know it and do you live by it?
If you don't know it, if you're sitting across from me and it's behind my head and I can't recite my own, it didn't come from my heart, did it?
No, and you said something earlier, like, you know, I don't want to jam it down their throat,
Right.
but in business, if you're leading the charge and you have a vision for your company, you have to, right? Almost to the point where, like, yes, Marty, I get it. I get it. Enough is enough. I get it.
Yeah.
Right? Because not until then is it actually home, right? Like
It's like we say, earning your customers. You're never done earning them.
No.
You earn a customer base, but you're continually earning, right? So
Well, Marty, thanks, man. And hey, you brought some great swag for us too. We're repping. Yeah, repping the brand, which is awesome. And Marty Salliss, Salliss Plumbing and Heating. I mean, keep it going, man. 25 years, and fuck, I feel like you're just getting started.
I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you guys for I don't know, entrusting me to sit here and talk.
Man.
I've really enjoyed this. It's our conversation is just flows. There's not a script in front of you.
No.
There's nothing. Which you want to talk about the heart. You want to talk about your values. You're showing it just by doing what you're doing. No, but I thank you for having me here. I feel very privileged to be here.
The privilege is ours, man. We've been talking about you. Like I said, I'll meet your buddy Rich. Give you a shout out. Rich is a big fan of the pod.
Joel, Alex, fuck, you know him. But, you know, Marty for mayor. You Marty, yours.
I don't like politics much.
Anyways,
Well, what you get me.
yeah, man. All right, we'll keep grinding out there, and we're huge fans. And
Me too.
Yeah, keep it going. So, all right, let's wrap.
Cheers.
Yeah, see you out.
All right,
Good stuff.
Right on. Yeah, buddy.
Thanks, brother.
Good stuff.
Another great episode. Thanks for joining us. Please support our podcasts. By supporting us, you can go to YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, go to our website, hustleandgrindpod.com. That way you can go and you can apply to be a guest. Listen to us anywhere that you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple, all the channels. But we really appreciate your support. Keep listening. We have a lot of great episodes and a lot of great guests ready to go. We're going to keep coming hard at you here and digging into the hustle and grind of what it takes to be an entrepreneur and a business owner.